Stage 19 was the first test against the clock since the opening 8.9 kilometres of the race in Rotterdam. This was 52 kilometres from Bordeaux to Pauillac, but just as flat. And it seemed to suit Fabian Cancellara just as well. He set the fastest early time, 1 hour and 56 seconds.
Time trial 1 hour is always really hard, but I think I'm happy with my performance. I did what I could. I'm satisfied for the moment because, I mean, with the performance like this and the sensation that was for me important to get on, that's great. And the rest, yeah, to wait and to see and to pray for Andy now.
The stage result was in the lap of the weather as much as the gods, as the wind started blowing for the late starters. But the conditions were the same for the two men in the race that really mattered. And with Schleck through the first checkpoint and Contador approaching it, we suddenly had much more of a race than anyone had expected.
We are about to see a big surprise here. Contador, who was ahead, is behind at the first official check. Look at this now. We're about the 8 seconds down as he crashes through. Alberto Contador has gone down 23.16. He leads the Tour de France by 2 seconds.
2 single seconds, that is unbelievable. Now that will be a slap in the face to this man who has looked so confident throughout the whole of this tour.
Andy Schleck in the white jersey is pile driving on. He knows he's within 2 seconds, according to the clocks, of taking yellow by the finish of this day. And that would be, I would say, the most incredible end to a Tour de France in living memory. This second time check is going to tell us something, that's for sure. Now, we're hearing on the race radio, they're now saying Schleck is 1 second in front.
He's 1 second in front on the road.
So he's now 7 seconds behind overall.
The result we keep seeing there is the virtual position between these two riders. He was at one stage 4 seconds ahead of Alberto Contador. Now he's slipped back to a single second. So currently, if we stop the race now, he would still be second overall, 7 seconds behind Alberto Contador.
They are fighting for the podium in Paris, all of them for the top 3 places. Denny Menchov may be winning the check for 3rd place overall.
And he may well be looking for a little bit more than that, because he could well today be turning the tables completely upside down. 11th place there for Menchov as he goes through in a time of 45 minutes and 32 seconds.
Well, there's the pain on the face here of Andy Schleck. He has earned himself tens of thousands of supporters over these 3 weeks around France. He finished 2nd last year. He dreamt of taking yellow. He's done that. Is he going to take it back in what would be one of the biggest surprises of the Tour de France in years? Samuel Sanchez racing up here now. He's lost his 3rd place for sure. 46.53.
Van den Broek is very close to going over him. You know, he's lost 1 minute and 20 seconds over Denny Menchov.
46.53 for Sanchez. He's more than a minute away now from the 3rd place, which he started in today. Menchov is claiming the podium in Paris alongside who in yellow? At the moment, advantage Contador. We're waiting for the 2nd check. Just 2 riders to come through at the 36-kilometer check. The computer saying it's advantage Contador. We'll wait. He said that last time, and it was Schleck. But Schleck must be quite a bit closer to Sanchez, within 2 minutes of the man in front of him now. Well, here comes the checkpoint now. And it's not important for the names that go behind. It's only important for the one man who is behind, Alberto Contador. You listen to the crowds. We are witnessing some time trial in the Tour de France this year, that's for sure. This man will drive on as he comes up through the checkpoint now. There it is, 46.52 for Schleck. Now, what's Contador going to do?
We're going to have to wait for 3 minutes. These two riders separated on the road by 3 minutes, but Schleck does not look like a man who is weakening in this individual time trial this afternoon. I have to say, Alberto Contador will now have that information in his ears. He will know that the time to beat at that time check is 46 minutes and 52 seconds, and he wants to be as close as possible, if not in front of it. Well, he's prizing the gap open just a little bit more. Theoretically, there's a 17-second gap, which means there's a 9-second gap between Alberto Contador and Andy Schleck on the road, and that is really something nobody would have put $1 on today.
Which means that Contador should stop the clock at 46.43 as he gets to that banner if the computer is reading things correctly. Well, this is it. He's approaching the banners here. It's just around the corner. We're in the town. The manager must be really worried back in that car. These two men have really brought this Tour de France to Paris this year.
Well, they certainly have. The mechanic will be on the edge of his seat too, because if either of these riders has a mechanical incident at a moment like this, it could tip the scales and the outcome of the Tour de France. 46 at 52 is the time that Andy Schleck went through, and he's still, Alberto Contador hasn't yet stopped the clock.
It must be close now. 46-46 for Alberto Contador. 6 seconds to the good at the moment, so he leads the Tour at this point by 14 seconds.
Well, it's all going to go down to the next time check out on the road here, but Alberto Contador is up against the ropes, and Andy Schleck is the man who is throwing all of the punches here this afternoon.
As the stage wore on, Schleck's challenge started to fade, not helped by the hint of another chain problem. Contador wasn't gaining anything like the time he'd been expected to take, but he was slowly pulling away. Nothing marginal about the gains Denis Menchov was making. He was by far the best of the late finishers and overhauled Samuel Sanchez with a couple of minutes to spare. With Menchov and Sanchez in, there were just two men left out on the course.
He's had a great time trial, win or lose. Schleck has been simply superb.
Well, he's really taken it to everyone this afternoon in the discipline which has never really been his. He's done what he can. He's tried to improve over the last couple of seasons, and today this must be the best time trial performance of his career.
Andy Schleck now will finish second in the Tour de France for the second year in succession. He's in 1, 7, 10 and 43rd place.
There's only one man remaining now out on the course, but I tell you, the change in the climatic conditions could really have affected the chances of Andy Schleck. Once it got a little bit tougher, once that wind started to come up, the aerodynamic position of Alberto Contador started to play in his favour.
Look at the face of Contador, 1:6:53. It will mean he's maintained his 17 seconds advantage. He's gained and gained and gained. Contador has gone quicker and quicker over this last half of the race. When it's got really tough, he has been the stronger of the two. This is where Andy was cracking. No signs of that from Contador. He's continued to gain ever since the second time check. And as he now comes home, he will know this will be it. This has won me the Tour de France. And his time on the line is 1 hour, 6 minutes and a final kick and 33 seconds. Alberto Contador today wins the Tour de France because he knows now it's all just a little ride home to Paris. But he knew what a fight he had. That was an incredible battle, and well done Andy Schleck for making it such.
Just how hard Andy Schleck had pushed Alberto Contador was evident the moment the Spaniard crossed the line and collapsed in tears on the shoulder of Alexander Vinokourov. He was still in tears on the podium. While around the internet, one figure was being repeatedly typed into blogs and forums. Alberto Contador's winning margin was 39 seconds, exactly what he'd taken from Andy Schleck with his attack on stage 15 when his rival's chain had come off. Behind them, Denis Menchov was comfortably up to third, Samuel Sanchez 2 minutes off a podium place in the end. No other change in the top 8 except for Ryder Hejerdal and Joaquin Rodriguez swapping places in 7th and 8th.